What's this? The blood of a wild animal? Judging by the smell, and the taste, it's pissed off, annoyed, and feasing in there. When a wild, ravenous animal is placed within a cage, it lashes out at anything and everything surrounding it. The bars, the walls, and anything that it can get its fangs or claws dug into, as if it thinks there is some sort of hope for escape. In other news, World War Fees has begun. The Red Pill Gang have declared total war against the casino. They're bombing each other. Bullets are flying. Bodies are scattered everywhere. They're swatting, doxing, and reporting and censoring both anons and pay pigs alike. There are no half measures here, and there are no innocents in Teddy Feaser's warpath. Every Anon is his enemy, but this time he's targeted the Eye of Sauron of the casino, and he's firebombed the Gunt News Network, the inhumanity. There's bodies all over the floor, blood everywhere, and every window is busted out. He's personally plucked out the eyes of Pinochet and smashed them within his palm and gurgled up the eyeballs before spitting them out, the sludge all over the carpet of the casino with zero care and zero remorse. So let's get into the details that Teddy Feaser, or RPG on X, has discussed and unfolded about Pinochet. We've got the thread right here. Indisputable evidence. Here, let me get my glove off. Oh. Indisputable evidence that Pinochet is an abject loser whose every lie spread about others, about RPG, is a projection of his own flaws and failures as a human being. Brutal, ruthless, zero care in the world from RPG. Let's go to point one. First off, we begin with concrete proof that Pinochet is a man in his 40s. Here he recalls watching the first ever episode of WWE Raw, which aired in 1993. There are many other posts where he dates himself, all of which have been archived, but this post alone puts him at around 45. I remember been watching since the first episode of Raw in 93 or 94. Now that we've exposed his age, that he's old, let's examine the following post, which has been truncated to focus on the relevant portion where Pinochet denies being a 45-year-old man with a Roblox account. I've never played Roblox, but even if I had, I don't see why that would matter. Okay, that's what Pinochet says there. Now for the evidence. Well, pick below is why that would matter. This also explains why he'd give such a suspicious O.J. Simpson style, even if I had played it, response to these allegations. He knew the account existed and was hedging against the eventual revelation. I don't get it. What's the point here? Business Week Roblox pedophile problem. So there's pedophiles who play video games. Great. Tell me something I don't already know, RPG. Speaking of which, it was recently revealed Kino Pesos is the username Kinoshe used on Roblox. Take note of the badge collection, which show him to be an avid player. Also take note of the join date, May 2021. Let's zoom in on that. Kino Pesos. Join April 2020, I guess May 2021. Okay. So we have Kino Pesos joining, but there's issues. Kinoshe, who lies constantly about everything, denies that account is his, claiming it can't be because he didn't start using the KinoPace alias on Twitter until 2022. Okay, so there's about a 7-month difference, give or take, before Kinoshe even used that name. The problem with this alibi is it doesn't disprove anything. Wait a minute! Aren't you supposed to prove that it's Kinoshe's? Aren't you supposed to prove that it's his? This doesn't disprove anything. What do you mean? He clearly says, yeah, I never used that moniker before my Twitter account. So he asks if this creation date of KinoPace's Roblox and Twitter accounts were too far apart to be connected, but in reality, they were only months apart. Yeah. 7 months? Maybe more? Okay? From this, we can conclude Kinoshe, surprise, surprise, he lied about being a 40-plus-year-old man with a Roblox account. Do people with nothing to hide lie about these kinds of things? And I guess here's Kinoshe confirming, yeah, I didn't use that name until 2022. The count is from April. May. But you know. Then another one, Kino Pesos, 10 hours. Why didn't you show the date, RPG? Why didn't you show the date, RPG? Are you trying to hide something? Are you trying to hide that this isn't 7 months apart, but more like 8 or 9 or 12? What is the meaning of hiding the evidence, RPG? But we'll continue with his little story. Very quickly, I want to reiterate, Kinoshe lies constantly, and about everything, especially me. He will inevitably and invariably lie in response to this post. Know that anything he says on this matter, while it may sound convincing at first, is utterly worthless because it's from him. His lies are so well documented, even Josh Moog called him out as a habitual liar who deliberately falsifies information and had to ban him from his smut forum Kiwi Farms because he kept on advertising his fucking Twitter account on there. Kinoshe is a habitual liar who deliberately falsifies information in attention and X-engagement. He also runs Gunt News. You follow other account? Please unfollow. It's frustrating how often he just makes shit up and gets rewarded for it. Never trust him. Never trust the Gunt News network. But there's more. There's more to this. It's not just reiterating the same old talking points and things that people already know. No. There's new details that RPG is gonna unfold for us. With that out of the way, we begin the Kino slur TOS unfriendly slur chronicles. For those who don't know, Xenoblade are a JRPG that features the type of scantily clad, ambiguously aged animated characters, a 40-plus-year-old man with a Roblox account who hangs out in Discord with pedophiles would masturbate to. Judging by his Twitter feed, it's his favorite video game series. Kinoshe is a fan of waifu anime video games that have talking animals. And whatever that red thing is in the distance. Kinoshe was so excited for the third game in the series Xenoblade Chronicles 3. He made several posts in anticipation of its release, including a countdown clock and advance notice his Ethan Ralph updates would be sparse once the game launched. And there's Kinoshe confirming the clock. And here's him talking about how he's gonna not be posting on Twitter so much because he's playing his favorite video game. Unable to contain his excitement, he posted a thread featuring his 10 favorite songs from the leaked OST. That's kind of funny. My favorite songs for my favorite video game! OST elegantly describing it as the greatest of all time. I mean, let's be honest, he's probably being a little bit eccentric there. With musical styles ranging from soothing to action hype to sad. Perhaps a career as a music critic is in the cards of his work lying on X for likes and retweets doesn't pan out. Okay, so here's him saying that. Some stores have broken straight date. Blah blah blah. Combat theme too. Another banger. What? And it's another banger. I like this song. It sounds cool. Kind of like liking an intro to, I don't know, an anime or anything else. Or a YouTube channel, an introduction song for a YouTube channel. Xenoblade's OST are the greatest of all time. Lots of range from soothing to action, hype to sad. But what's important about Xenoblade? Where is RPG going with all of this? Think this is a nothing burger so far? I mean, kind of. Then I've got great news for you! Now we get to the fun stuff. Oh yeah! We're gonna get to the fun stuff, the details, the dirt! Xenoblade 3 released on July 29th, 2022. Exactly 1 week after its release, Kinoshe posts he's been playing the heck out of it and is a whooping 55 hours along with an image proudly flaunting his biggest chain attack yet. This may seem pathetic at face value, and it is. But let's break down just how pathetic it truly is. Okay, so he played the game for 55 hours in a single week. So he basically dedicated all of his time to playing the game the first week it came out. You know, I don't have a lot of friends these days that play a lot of video games, but I still do. And when the new game comes out, they play the shit out of it. They dibble and dabble all over with their controller. No sleep, no showers, just a stinky, sweating ball of grease mess. And you know, the half the men in the country at this point probably all do the same thing. Doing some quick math here, a week contains 168 hours and the average person spends 8 hours a day sleeping, or 56 hours a week. 168 total hours in a week minus 56 hours for sleep leaves us with 112 waking hours. Kinoshe says he spent 55 of those 112 hours playing Xenoblade. This means Kinoshe played Xenoblade for half of his waking hours following its release. Can anyone explain how that's possible for a 40-year-old man that isn't a complete loser with absolutely nothing importance to tend to. Okay, so he doesn't have a family, he doesn't have children. Yeah, that sucks. That's really unfortunate. But you know what? If Kinoshei's celibate about it, I could give two shits less. But we don't know those details. We don't know the inner workings of Kinoshei's sexual perversions. You just made statements saying it has to be true. 2 days after his 55 hours in the post, he is able to peel himself away from his video game long enough to let his followers, who are waiting with bated breath for the daily Ethan Ralph slander. No, he wouldn't be Ralph posting because he must return to the world of Xenoblade. Even when fully immersed inside his Nintendo Switch, Ethan Ralph has near full occupancy of his mind. Alright, GNN, we'll be a bit light on content today unless Ethan Ralph, convicted sex offender, does something stupid. Likely. Okay, there's no content to post about, so I'm gonna play my video game. Very nice. Swell update. The date is now August 8th, 2022, making it 9 days since the release of Xenoblade 3. Kinoshei takes a short break at 5 a.m. from grooming? Gooming? Gooming? What? What did he mean by this? Gooming. Oh! Gaming! Oh, I think you misspelled that, RPG. Sorry, I didn't quite understand what was going on. To let the world know he has now been playing for 94 hours. Your eyes do not deceive you. Here, Kinoshei proudly admits he spent an average of more than 10 hours each day over the last 9 days playing video games. And somehow, as if that wasn't already bad enough, things are about to get even more pitiful. Okay, so he spent his weekend sitting inside all day, playing the heck out of the video games. And he maybe even took a day off from work to do it too. So he could get an easy, quick 36 hours in 3 days in. Okay. It's his choice. If he wants to sit around and play video games for 3 days straight, go after it. Not my cup of tea. I don't know if that necessarily makes you a loser, maybe a bit of a bum and a dweeb and a dork, but an abject loser that has nothing? Well, he can afford the game, and he can afford to sit there and play the game all the time. So, what's the point? The very day Kinoshei posts that after 117 well-spent hours, he has completed the story of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. But wait a second. Hadn't he said he logged 94 hours just 1 day prior? That's right, 1 day prior. So in the span of 2 days, he played 23 hours of video games, like 12 hours a day. So maybe he even took another 2 days off, or he just worked from home. 5 days later, he takes another short break to show off a truly great fees. No, not something materially achieved in real life, but the biggest chain attack of over 10 million damage. Incredible. But I broke 10 million damage in a chain attack yesterday. Congrats. It's kind of dumb. I'm not good at video games though, so I get that it's kind of like solving Sudoku puzzles really quick or doing some sort of other mental task, getting the right combos and fits. So, proud of you, buddy. You got the combo. You beat the combo. Oh. Like, when are we going to get into something here, RPG? Give us all the dirt. Not just he plays video games a lot. The frequent updates stop there, But behind the scenes, Kinochet continued whittling his fingers down to the bone, late into the wee hours of the night. We know this for certain because a few months later, in December of 2022, he provides us with one last update, letting us know he spent a grand total of 320 hours on Xenoblade 3 alone. So he put a lot of time into it. He really liked it. Got his money's worth. Hey. Healthy investment on Kinochet's part. Really getting all out that he wants to get out of it. You can tell he takes great pride in this. This is his crowning achievement. To be honest, RPG, I don't think that's his crowning achievement. I think his crowning achievement is getting you so incredibly pissed off and seething about him for an eternity. This is never going to stop. It's never going to end. This is just the beginning of RPG's life. And it just keeps going and going and going. But the thread doesn't actually go anywhere. And it just kind of ends. And it doesn't stop there. But that's where the thread stops. RPG, just endlessly seething about someone he's never met in real life, someone he's never talked to in person, someone he has no real interaction with. Like a feral animal in a cage, he strikes out and slashes out at everybody around him that he thinks are his enemies, when in reality, they're just random people that he was somewhat acquainted with at some point in time. And maybe it's time for RPG to grow up and move on, and end the feasoning. But no! World War Fees will continue, to his little heart's content, because he's pissed off, pessimistic, and spiteful. You know, as a good Christian RPG, we're not supposed to keep anger and bitterness in our hearts. So maybe you should do the same, and repent and forgive Kinochet for making jokes about you on the internet, and move on with your life. But what do I know? I'm a good-for-nothing nobody loser, and didn't have to deal with the trembles and horrors of people sending you pizzas and calling you. The horror, the inhumanity! They called me bald and 30! Oh! But what, like I said, what do I know? So I've been the King's Fool, and I hope you all have a good one. Well, just to pick up my things and head on out, you know? Successful hiking day, successful trip.
That's true.
What? Did you hear that? Did it come from over there? Oh no! It's Teddy Feaser! He found me!
That's true.
He's angry! He's gonna tell on his mom that I made fun of him on the internet! The horror! Run, run, run as fast as you can! But you can't catch me, Ted, 'cause you're an angry and bitter man!